Good morning and welcome to Win the Day. I'm with you guys every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on Facebook. But you can also catch the podcast, which is 100K Challenge Chick, or the YouTube channel, which is my name, Tanika D'Souza. So welcome for all of you who are joining me, especially my YouTube channel. Whoop, whoop. Thank you guys. And if you haven't subscribed yet, absolutely make your way to YouTube, because that way you can see the entire collection of videos. So we are talking today about a topic that used to just burn me up when people would tell me that this is what I needed to do to be successful in my business. Like, clearly, almost every piece of business advice that you get, they tell you this is like the key thing that's going to like take you over the top toward your success, blah, 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 right? But to be honest with you, learning how to protect your time is absolutely key in order for you to even just be available, for you to even just have the space, the time, the mental capacity to invest in your business, right? So if you allow your time and your schedule and things to just be so chaotic, you're never going to get things done. So I'm going to break down a few things that I've done, things that I do right now that are working for me. And what I want you to do is listen for like one or two things that you can try, that you can apply to you. The reason why this used to burn me up is because I am a mother of three, right? And my oldest doesn't live at home anymore. She just graduated college. She actually just accepted her first job offer. So congrats, daughter. I'm so proud of you. But that doesn't absolve me from talking to her when she's making decisions or while she's traveling the world. I'm not absolved from parental responsibility just because she's out the house. And then the other two are home. They are high schoolers. So this is when, their sports and their activities and their friendships are the most important thing in their life, right? My son had the nerve to call me Kid Uber the other day and told me that I enjoyed driving him around and taking him to all his stuff. He is a varsity starting quarterback, and this is going into his senior year. So a lot of the things that you would have done as an athlete, as a junior, or maybe even as a sophomore, he didn't get the chance to do because of COVID, right? So we're kind of doing so much catch up, college tours, all of that stuff, because this is his last year in high school. So the reason why I'm sharing that is not because I want sympathy, but to let you guys know, like, I'm doing this, right? I have to learn how to protect my time. Otherwise, literally my family, my other businesses, all kinds of things will eat up all of my time, and I'll never be able to put the energy, the effort, and the time into doing the things that I really want to do. So that's what we're talking about this today, protecting your time. It's really giving you the freedom and the opportunity to do the things that you need to do, right? So how do you protect your time? And I'm going to tell you three things, right? First and foremost, you have to have a plan. So if you don't know what your business needs from you, then it's hard for you to protect the time to get it done because you haven't created a plan on what's needed, right? So if you say, I'm going live this many times a week, or I need to schedule this many posts for the week, I need to have this many conversations with potential customers, I need at minimum to be working with my clients this many hours per week, then you need to put that in your calendar and figure out how you can get that done. So that's the first thing. It's like planning out what you believe your business needs from you. For some of you, you're going to quickly realize, crap, how can I get all of this done? I need some help, right? And so I have help to help me with my social media planning and help me do a few other things. But I realized I made a plan for what was going to be the most effective to run my business for what I'm currently doing. And then I made a plan for how that was going to get done. So that's first and foremost. You have to understand the time that you're trying to protect. Second is going to be scheduling, right? Scheduling the time to get it done. So it's not enough to say, I want to post once a day on social media, or I'm going to go live at 10 a.m. on Tuesday and Thursday. You need to block that time out of your schedule so you don't have people accidentally booking appointments with you, or for you to forget that it's Tuesday and you just promised your child you were about to go help them do something else. You need to put that stuff on your calendar, and then you need to look at the calendar and actually stick to what you put there. So first is planning out what needs to get done, but then second is scheduling it and making sure that you've literally blocked the time that you need to get it done. It's not enough to say, okay, I need to post every day. Well, give yourself 20 minutes to do that. Give yourself an additional 10 minutes to go and comment on people who have responded to you in previous posts. So block out the time that you need on your actual schedule so that you know what is required of you. And then third, this is the part about protecting your time that gets so frustrating. But to be honest, that's what it comes down to. You being honest about what's important to you right now. So for me, I can't avoid my husband, my kids, and my house, right? These are things that if push comes to shove, I'm not letting my kid miss their activities. I'm not going to keep ignoring my husband, right? I just might end up putting myself in a really bad place where I feel like I have to choose. So when you plan out your time, when you actually schedule it, and then you're honest with yourself to say, you know what, spending time with my husband every week is important. Understanding what my kids need from me is important. And my son needing kid Uber is also important because I'm not going to tell him no. So what I do is I'm honest about what my responsibilities are, because this is a thing that I see my clients do. They think that somehow magically, because they put these things on their calendar for their business, somehow their kids now need less from them. That's not true, right? But you can tell your kids like, hey, I'm going into a busy week, or this is the week that I'm starting to teach this class. So probably for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be figuring out my rhythm. So if you need something from me, I need you to come and tell me earlier, because if you tell me the same day, I may not be able to do it for you. And if you're honest with them and they want something or they need something from you, they're going to let you know. Right? But if you don't tell anybody and you're just like, but I'm busy, like look at my calendar, but you had never told anyone that you're headed into a really busy time, then you can't expect for them to know that, right? So I literally like sit and realize like, oh, we haven't been on a date. And so my husband and I will look at our calendars, or a lot of times we plan things later in the evening where we know we don't take clients, or on the weekends, some days, especially like a Sunday, I don't see clients on Sunday. And so that's a day that I know for sure I can go on dates with my husband. I can take the kids out to run errands that aren't time sensitive. I know I have that time because I don't allow my clients to book. It's not on any of my scheduling apps, right? The other thing that I protect is my time with my daughter. We are home all the time. Her brother is always running back and forth to sports, and it doesn't leave a lot of time to actually make sure we're doing stuff geared to her and her interests. So now what we do is literally we plan time every single week what we're going to do. And this allows her to explore her hobbies. Sometimes we're cooking together. Sometimes we just go hang out at a mall. Sometimes we just go to a dessert shop or the coffee shop and just sit and chat. But what it does is give some focused time to her. Because I realize if I don't do that, I'm going to feel terrible, right? Because my son is absolutely going to say, I need to go to my quarterback trainer. I need to go to the gym. I need to go to school. I need to go to practice. I need to be out of town. Like at this point, it's out of town trips to visit colleges and football camps. So he's going to like almost demand what he needs. But this child is a little more quiet about what they need. And I have to make sure that I'm not ignoring that. So as a mom, I sat and thought about like what's important to me, what needs to be on my schedule, what has to be on my schedule, and then other things. And you guys, you know, especially as we're approaching this age bracket of like late 30s through your 40s, we start to turn our attention toward our parents. So for a lot of my friends, they are taking care of their parents, whether the parents live in their homes, whether their parents live in homes, or whether they live out of state, but they still have some level of responsibility to the parents, right? Or even if it's not a responsibility, you know, like none of my parents are in any state like that, but I still want to visit. I still want to spend time. I still want to check on them, see how they're doing, even if it's just in a phone call. So understanding what's important to you is super important for you to realize I have to find ways to make time to get this done. So I'm going to tell you some things that I do right now, and maybe some of these things will work for you. But I think as long as you implement the 3, planning, so planning out what you believe your company needs from you and what has to get done. And then number 2, scheduling it. Don't just make the plan without putting it on your calendar as a time frame where it's going to happen, right? Even if you don't say, this is my time for social media, this is my time for this, if you just gear a couple hours of a block time for your business, and then you have a checklist of things that's going to get done when those blocks of time come up, you can do it that way too, right? So whatever works for you, but actually setting aside the time to get it done in your business is super, super important. And that's number 2. And then 3rd, being honest about your responsibilities. Don't make it that when your son says, I have to go to football practice, that you are just like, oh, you know, like huffing and puffing. You knew he had to go to football practice. You know, he has to go several times a week. You know, he has that trainer. You're paying for it. You know, he has to go to the gym. So don't ignore the things that you know are going to happen. And for me, my son absolutely will tell you 30 minutes before he needs to leave, like, okay, well, are you going to be ready at this time? And I'm like, boy, I'm in the middle of work. So what I do now is I ask, when do you have to go to your trainer this week? What's happening? Because that way I can also say, hey, you didn't let me know what you needed this weekend. It's Thursday, and I am starting to plan out my time. So if you need me to take you anywhere, you need to let me know by this evening. So now I also protect my time by asking the important questions so that these things are on my agenda. They are on my radar, right? I'm not ignoring it. I'm not letting stuff come up at the last minute and then being frustrated and having to move my calendar around. So that's what I want you guys to do. And the whole idea of protecting your time is, 1, so you spend less time being frustrated. You spend less time just kind of picking up the pieces and feeling like you're juggling your day. You can approach your week and have a lot more control over what you're doing with your time. So that's what I wanted to share. I literally talk to my daughter early in the week and say, hey, what are we going to do this week? Sometimes she has ideas, other times she does not. And then I can plan around other things I have to do. So if she says, hey, can we go to the thrift store this week? I'm like, okay. On Thursday, I have to take your brother to the gym. So we'll drop him at the gym, go to the thrift store, hang out there, and then we'll go back and pick up your brother. I have done two things. They both got what they needed. And then I can go back home and work. They both were taken care of. Or with my husband, he might say, hey, this movie's coming out. I want to go see it on Friday. Then I just say, okay, great. I don't currently have any clients on Friday, so let me block the time so that I don't get people to schedule when I just made the promise to my husband that we're going to go see a movie premiere. So that's how this works, you guys. Protecting your time is you being honest about the things that are important to you, about the things that you want to do, and about the things that you're actually responsible to handle. Your business is not your whole life, and your kids are important. And women, your husbands are important. They're adults. I get it. And I absolutely was guilty of saying well, if anything has to wait, it can be him. He's an adult. He can handle it. But my marriage needs two people to be present, right? So don't neglect your husband. Don't neglect the time. Don't neglect those little things that keep you guys close, right? Plan the date night. It might sound like, you like being spontaneous. Well, spontaneous isn't working all the time. So take the time to literally say, okay, I want to date with you on Sunday. Great. What can we do? Well, the child has to go to the football trainer. So we're going to drop him and the two of us are going to go out for brunch and then pick him back up. So you can overlap some of the things that you have to do, but just be aware of what you actually find important and find the time to get it done. So the other thing I do when I block time, I don't tell people, oh, don't worry about it. It's just time that I put aside. I don't really have an appointment. No, I have an appointment with myself and my business to get things done. I don't give that time away. Once I block it, it's block time. Because I've seen my clients do that as well. They're like, yeah, I'm supposed to work during this time, but my son wanted to watch this cartoon, so I watched it with him because I didn't have any appointments. That's not how that works. So once you block the time, protect it by scheduling the other things that you need to get done. And by saying, okay, well, I'm going to watch cartoons before I work. I'm going to work for 2.5 hours, and then I will make lunch after that, or whatever it is, the plan that you put in place. So that's how this works, you guys. It's not so overwhelming. It absolutely starts out feeling that way, like you are just losing your mind. Everything is crazy. You're not sure how you're going to get all these different things done. At the beginning, you're probably going to have to delete a lot of things off your schedule and then slowly add things back as you understand what your business requires, what your home requires, and what you're actually going to make time for. So the key points today was planning what you needed to do, scheduling it, and then being honest about your other responsibilities and making time for those other things. I hope that helped. It absolutely helps me. I literally am in such a better place now about my time and about my time management and getting things done. So I don't spend most of my days just feeling frustrated and stuck and just how in the world am I getting this done? Because I planned how I was going to get it done. So if you guys have questions related to this, absolutely add it to the comments, to the chat. I'll be happy to respond to you guys. But thank you for joining me for Win the Day. And I will see you guys back here next week, Tuesday, Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. In the meantime, check out the YouTube channel, Tanika D'Souza. You can find past episodes. Maybe there's something you're dealing with right now. You can browse the titles there. And if you prefer to listen to podcasts, I am 100K Challenge Chick on any podcast platform that you prefer. Thank you guys for being with me. Have a great day.